What tone dominates your story? You know, I'm going to talk about another one of the 7 elements to a great story, and that element is tone. Now, tone is defined as the overall feeling of your story. It emphasizes the author's attitude. And tone can communicate a lot of different things. It can communicate anger, contempt, sarcasm, humor, enthusiasm. It can communicate so many different things and leave the people that were in the presence of these tones feel in many different ways. And the question you want to ask yourself is, what tone do you operate in your life? And how does it affect you and those that are around you? And what message are you trying to convey in your tone? So, I'm going to talk about some of the more common types of tone. The first is optimistic, the optimistic tone. Now, this tone is positive. They see the best in people. They believe that good is always going to win out. They look at a situation, whether it is a problem or an obstacle, and they see their way through. They see how the outcome is going to be beneficial. They look on the bright side of things. And people oftentimes leave the presence of this type of tone feeling encouraged, inspired even. And then you have your pessimistic tone. Now, this tone is very different. This tone is negative. They believe the worst in everybody and everything. They believe that if there's anything good that happens, it's not going to last. They're kind of your glass half empty folks. And even worse than that, they believe that there's a hole in the glass. So even though it's half empty, it will be completely empty before too long. And people leave the presence of these people feeling almost depressed, almost zapped of energy. And it's because that's what pessimistic people do. They drain your positivity. They drain any positive energy that was within you. And just being in their presence for a brief time can leave the listeners feeling just really down. And another type of tone is the aggressive tone. Now, these people believe that everybody is a nail and they are the hammer. They are defensive. They are aggressive in the point of they want to start every battle. They want to fight all the time. And it may be because they feel like if they don't do it first, it'll get done to them. But either way, they're very intimidating, almost bully-like. And people tend to avoid this type of tone because no one wants to feel like they have to watch what they say and what they do because it's going to be criticized and attacked. And then you have your assertive tones. Now, this tone is very different from the aggressive tone. This tone stands up for what is right. They will confront, although they find no joy in it. They say what needs to be said, and they say it in such a way that the delivery just seems to land better on the people that they're trying to get their message across to. And when people leave their presence, they feel understood and they feel like they understood the message. And then you have your sarcastic tones. Now, this particular tone is almost a mocking tone. These are the ones that will say something seemingly positive, but in the way that they say it, in their tone and their facial expressions, it communicates something totally different. And if they're saying something positive, believe that the underlying feeling is negative. And people want to avoid this type of tone because nobody wants to feel less than. Nobody wants to feel belittled and put down. And then you have your cooperative tone. Now, this particular tone invites a team-like atmosphere. It believes and understands that we're all different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different belief systems. We have different lifestyles. We all have our own individuality. But as different as we are, there is some common ground that can be found. And with this type of cooperative tone, it tends to lend itself to great outcomes, to things being done in such a way that everybody that is a part of the team walks away knowing that their contributions were respected and accepted. And everybody knows that compromise was a part of it. It's a very cooperative tone. Now, the interesting thing about tones is that depending on the delivery, your message may or may not come across. You know, a negative or an aggressive or sarcastic tone can oftentimes gobble up the message that you intended. It can almost devour it. And the person is left feeling that negativity. And your message has completely disappeared. And the thing you want to ask yourself is if your message is important enough to make sure that your tone is in such a way that the person will receive it. Is your message worth receiving? And if it is, are you willing to adjust your tone? Think about it.